Welcome to BACKtalk, the premier podcast from Successful Black Parenting Magazine, featuring in-depth conversations and expert insights on crucial topics for Black families. We are ranked one of the top 4 Black family podcasts on FeedSpot, and we're now number 1 on Million Podcasts as well. I'm your host, Janice Robinson-Celeste. And now Successful Black Parenting has an interactive community. Yep, I said it, community of like-minded Black parents called the Black Parenting Academy. And this is where you can converse and post questions, comments, wins, concerns in a safe space. If you have a question about what to do if my child is bullying, what to do if my child is bullied, put your answer there and let the mamas and aunties talk to you. Let them tell you what worked for them. And I'll be sharing that link later during the show, so you guys stay tuned to watch for it. But it's blackparentingacademy.com. You can join as a member, or I can just give you the free link for watching. I'll give you the free link so you can go join the community, and that doesn't cost a thing, okay? So consider yourself, though, lucky if you have some support. Consider yourself lucky if someone held your baby when it was an infant so you could shower, sleep, cry, because far too many Black moms never get that kind of support and they have to figure it out. So who was your village after childbirth? Because we are talking about that today, so stay tuned.
This is BACKtalk by Successful Black Parenting Magazine, the most listened to podcast for parents by parents.
Hello, Successful Black parents. Thank you for tuning in to BACKtalk by Successful Black Parenting Magazine, your go-to podcast talk show for parents. We are live, and that means you can post your questions in the comment section of our Facebook or YouTube page, and it will address your questions on air. Well, we will address, not it, because it's not AI. We are live. It's us. We for real. We will address your questions live on air. Don't forget to share our podcast with your friends. Shout it out to your followers, because not only is sharing truly caring, but it helps to keep us existing. Okay, we need you. If you don't do that kind of stuff, then we go away, and we're one Black business that's falling as well. So you got to keep all you got to do is just like us, share, click on things. It don't matter what it is, an ad. If you're not going to buy it, click on it anyway. All those things help us and don't forget to use hashtag BACKtalk when you post about us, because I like to go back and look at these things and see what you're saying. All right. So today in the studio, we have Miss Trishay, Mama Yata Young. Hey, how are you, Mama Yata?
I am doing wonderful. How are you?
I am good. Now, you may have to bring if it's a laptop, down a little bit, because your name is blocking your mouth and your beautiful face, and we want to be able to see you. So let's adjust you up a little bit. There we go. I need to see you. If you want, you can even come over a little closer to your banner, because you can't read the little writing. You can see the beautiful pictures now. I just want to make sure everybody can see your beautiful face when you're talking. We can see you. There you go.
All right, that's good. Okay,
that's much better. Thank you so much. And I don't know, I'm orange today. I'm not trying to be like somebody in the administration of the United States. But for some reason, let me see. My camera won't keep my skin tone right, and my lights are blue, so I don't get it. I know TV. Maybe if I do that, I don't know. It's weird. I think it's the back screen, honestly. We'll fix that later. But let's start with you. Can you introduce yourself to our audience and tell us what led you to start your group, Melanin Mothers Meet, M3?
Oh, yes. Melanin Mothers Meet is a nonprofit organization in Tallahassee, Florida. It's focused on postpartum and breastfeeding support. What got me started with Melanin Mothers Meet about 9 years ago was the simple fact that after I had my home birth, my husband at the time, I just figured that I needed a little bit more help. I mean, he was helpful, but something in my spirit and my DNA knew that there was more help out there for mothers after they have babies. And so I just was saying that, hey, I'm going to host an interest meeting, and, moms came, and, it was a start of a mom group where we had meetings every month, and it grew into being an awareness and educational workshop every month as well. And, it was just something that never stopped. So I'm just really excited to be able to share information to moms who are unaware of their options when it comes to postpartum support and preparedness.
No, that's perfect. No, great. And tell us about your background.
Oh, yes. Well, I am a two-time home birth, breastfeeding for 5 years mom and a wife, very happy wife. And, I graduated from the Florida A&M University. And I graduated in psychology and social work. And, for me, double majoring in psychology and social work is one of those things where, after I finished, I said, no, I don't need to be in the classroom. I need to be in the community. And so
Okay.
I took all of the information that I received there and I went to the community to see what it was that I can do there. And then I also am a childbirth educator, and I'm also a postpartum empowerment strategist.
Right. No, perfect. You're kind of following in Barack Obama's footsteps. He did the same thing, went to Harvard, came back to the community, organized the community. We need more of that. Absolutely. But before we get into everything, we always do an icebreaker and for every guest. And I want to know one thing about you that most people don't know that you can share. that you can share.
Let's see. Oh my goodness. I'm so private, so it's probably a lot. Well, maybe on a broader scale of people not knowing, I also am a dance instructor.
Nice.
And I enjoy movement. Melanin Mothers Move. I've done a lot of dance classes over my years of teaching. I'm also a curriculum developer. I created a curriculum for children called Principles of Problem Solving, and I teach homeschool collectives over the United States. So I do that. And I'm also a vegan. I've been plant-based for about 13 years.
Wow, that's amazing. You could do courses on everything. I might have to talk to you about doing one of the master classes for Black Parenting Academy because I'm sure there are a lot of parents who want to know about that. And
Yes.
if anybody out there who's interested in being a master class speaker, whatever your expertise is that you feel strongest about, we offer a way for you to make money while you're sleeping. Some of our courses are free. Some of them cost money. Some of them are a membership. So we have different tiers. But what we do is we have people come in and speak. And if you share your affiliate link, and promote it, then you also we split the percentage because we do the marketing and stuff as well as promoting it. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. But we'll get into that. So ask me about it via email later, and we'll get into it. But one of the things you're passionate about changing the postpartum experience for Black and Brown mothers. What do you believe is the biggest myth about the postpartum journey? And is it harmful or not? Because myths are usually not based in facts.
Right. I think the biggest myth for the postpartum journey is the snapback and the means to get back out there, get to work, do all of the things, right? How fast you can get there. Let's not do that. Let's focus on our rest. I'm really big on resting, especially as Black women, because that is something that has not been a part of our culture in the more forward years because of, our ancestors not being able to rest and all the things that we've had to do. And so when Black women are resting and not doing anything, there is a part of guilt that kind of comes on to Black women. And so we feel like we have to do something if we're not doing anything, but we are doing everything when we rest because we have to rejuvenate. We have to recharge. One of my principles of problem solving, one of my creeds, one of the principles is refueling is my responsibility. And that's what I teach the children. And we have to learn as Black women, as Black mothers, that we have to refuel, because if we don't refuel, then the children are going to be affected. The family's going to be affected. The husband's going to be affected. All of the social determinants of health, come back to a maternal mental health, right? And so if our Black women, if our moms, after they have a baby, are not stress-free, okay, if they are filled with anxiety, if they're overwhelmed, if they have all of these things to do and to deal with after they have a baby, then the house is going to be in shambles.
Yeah, you're right. I love the idea of rest. Naps are underrated. I always said that. Although not Black, Ariana Huffington has a whole movement about getting more sleep.
Yes.
We need a whole movement in our culture about getting rest and sleep. So maybe you can lead that, Mama Yata, because we need that. We really do. You talked about radical rest. What is that?
Oh my goodness. So when you are resting in the sense of making it your duty to rest, making it your permission, giving yourself permission to rest, no matter what else is going on, and not feeling guilty about that rest, making sure that you are resting intentionally, not laying down, scrolling the phone, not watching TV, not resting while the children go play. No, you need to do something with the children, making sure that you can rest with nothing to do. So no phones, nothing to look at, no screen time, just you and yourself. And I feel like we run so far away from dealing with ourselves out loud, just you and you. Because of all of the other things that we have to do that, we're kind of in fear to face ourselves. And radical rest allows you to face yourself in the way that no other rest can.
Yeah. I was thinking when you were talking about that, seems like dads are like the champions of rest. Not only that, but even if they're watching the kids, they find a way to rest. I saw a dad on, I think it was TikTok, had his kids drawing him sleeping on the couch.
I saw that. Genius.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah. So I thought that was hilarious, but we still have to keep an eye on the children. Mm-hmm. But they are the champions of that.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Many parents feel like they do have to do it all, especially us moms. Like, how do we start delegating tasks without feeling the guilt that you're talking about? Mm-hmm. How do we do that? Because we feel like there's no time to. I just go for back. I'll come back to this question. Yeah. I just read something before coming on air saying that parents only get 10% of their time to themselves all week. 10%. So the rest of the 90% go to the kids. But so how do we delegate then if we don't have the time and to keep and not feeling guilty about it?
So there's this thing that I teach as a postpartum empowerment strategist. I sit with women online like this for about 45 minutes, and I just kind of go through everything that it is that they need to prepare for their postpartum journey. Typically, I like to meet with women before the baby shower, because usually at baby showers and gender reveals, everybody's like all great and they're eating all the meatballs and everybody's having a great time. And then when the baby comes, nobody from the baby shower, where are you all? They don't show up. Where are you? So what happens is with myself as the postpartum empowerment strategist, we create a template for those to sign up at the baby shower, at the gender reveal, so that we don't lose contact. So once the baby gets here, I already know that Janice is going to come over on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 5 for about 4 weeks. I already know that, Chandra is going to come over on Saturday to make sure that my older children can get to their extracurricular activity or their game. I already know that, Jan is going to come over and fix the meals or organize my closet or wash my clothes, on Mondays and Fridays or, whatever the case is. But you want to go into the preventative. I'm a preventative mode person, right? So you want to have preventative measures to make sure that you are delegated, before you get into postpartum, because it's tiring. You don't want to think about who's doing this and who's doing that. You want to already have that lined up. You want to have that lined up, and then you can have your go-to person, maybe a sister friend, maybe a mother-in-law, maybe your partner, even, to make sure that these people are delegated and doing what they're supposed to do. In my second birth, my home birth, I had a sister friend who made sure that I had someone there every day. And the biggest thing for moms, and I also want to touch this too, because a lot of times some people say, spiritually, you want to wait 30 days, 40 days until people come in, and that's fine. But after whatever that time period that you want to bond with your baby alone, you say yes to that help. You say yes to that help. And I said yes in my second pregnancy to all of the help. And it was the best thing that I could have done. It was amazing. I was stress-free. I mean, food, and I'm talking about good food. Okay. I'm talking about Jamaican. I'm talking about Trini. I'm talking about Korea. I'm talking about all the goodness, all the good love food. It was delivered right to my door from my sister friends who cooked for me, who brought over food. I had my older child. They would take her to the park with their children. Like, I had nothing to worry about. And during that second pregnancy, or that second postpartum space, I was actually going through a divorce. So it was one of those things where, how do you lighten the load for this mom? And it's so easy. It's so simple. I always say in my speaking engagements that you don't need a degree to fold up a towel. You don't need a degree to, clean out a closet or pick up a child or pick up some eggs or whatever, you know what I mean? And not to shade that, but just to simply, remind us that the work that needs to be done to decrease the stress on moms is very simple.
Oh, I love that. What, as moms, a mom who just had a baby, especially, what should they let go of first?
They need to let go of the fact that they are in control. Stop trying to be in control. Allow your help to come in and do what they're going to do. Allow your support system to be that support. Making sure that you are being upfront, because then you also have to have boundaries. I have a lot of moms that speak on, well, my mother-in-law is, overstepping. How do I, speak to her about those things? Well, first off, you have to be very assertive, respectfully. As I have a mother-in-law, my mother-in-law, I love her. I love her so much. But with mother-in-laws, they're just kind of testing your waters. And if you allow them to overturn, then they're going to overturn. And then it's going to be hard coming out of that overturning. Okay. But if you let them know from the jump, that, hey, okay, I respect you, you respect me, but these are my wants, these are my needs for me and my child and my family, and making sure that the husband is supporting that. So that's another thing. So that's a whole nother podcast, Janice.
I know I have adult girls, and two of them have multiple kids, and I think the last one with my youngest daughter, I just came and I was like, "This is my baby now." This is my baby now, and we bonded. She was like, I was like, my baby. She's like, it's my baby.
Yes. Like, let go of the control, mamas. You got to let go of the control. Allow the help to come in, because I'm telling you, you are not going to be able to rest and get back to where you actually want to be, because you have a big womb. Your womb is open. It's open. It's a big womb space that is open, and that needs to contract. That needs to heal. And the only way that that's going to heal is if you're resting. Yeah. And I have a mom right now that she just had her seventh baby, and she's up, doing things. And I'm like, okay, I understand that you have to do things, but you have to also find time to rest, because what happens is you can be set back. Okay, if you're not resting, and then that's going to put you even further back from your healing space. So if you want to get back out, and I understand, like, people, a lot of women, we don't want to just sit down like, oh, I just feel like I'm not doing anything. I need to do something. Sit down and, roll your thumbs together. Do something that's not going to require much of your time and energy. You want to rest. Rest is so important. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, indeed. And I agree with that. Let's talk about the woman who might not have the village. What if they don't have support? What if they don't have a husband? They don't have a lot of friends, or maybe they live far apart, or maybe they had the baby early and didn't get a chance to have a baby shower yet. What does that look like for them as far as getting support? How can they find support in those situations?
So if you have multiple children, maybe if you have older children, and you may not have other help, teach the children how to help. Teach the children how to help. And they're like, well, what am I supposed to teach a 3-year-old? 3-year-olds can do a lot to stay out of your way. Give them things to do. But you see, these are things that you want to prepare before you have the baby, right? Because once you have the baby, you're tired, you don't feel like doing all these things. And this is what me, as a postpartum empowerment strategist, I come in to help you prepare for. So you already have a log for your older children. Say you have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 4-year-old. You can task the 10-year-old to do certain things around the house. You can have things that are already prepared, like foods. If you want to have soups, or if you want to cook things and freeze them, you can do that. And then if you have a older child, like a 10-year-old, you can prepare them to warm it up, in the microwave or wherever they can warm things up. It's a step-by-step thing that you have to do, but these things have to be done ahead of time. And then maybe if you haven't done it ahead of time and you still are like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? You need to call and see if there are any local resources in your area. There are home visitors. If there are any palliative care at your local hospitals, request that. You have to request these things. And unfortunately, you're going to have to do it if you don't have a village. If you don't have a village, you're going to need to Google support for moms in the area, postpartum support. I've always say it's really good to get the pelvic floor therapy support. That's something that's really looked over in the Black community as well. So yes, those are some ways.
Okay, no, that's fantastic. Some great options. I like the idea of prepping ahead of time as much as possible and freezing it. You might need to get a deep freezer for that. But whatever you need to do, maybe you can always get a used one if you don't have the money for that. Those are usually available on like Facebook Marketplace. I've seen them for as low as $55. So if you can afford to do that, that might be advantageous too.
Mm-hmm.
You are a strong advocate for home births and breastfeeding. We did breastfeeding in our family. My oldest daughter did home birth 2 times in a row. And water birth too, which I think is fantastic because I had the experience of just having warm water squirted down there when my last daughter was born. I remember all my muscles just relaxing from a squirt bottle of warm water. So I can't imagine what being submerged in a pool of warm water while having your baby must feel amazing. But what advice do you have for parents who might be curious about these choices?
Oh, yes, definitely. Well, with home birth, it's something that you need to have a village for. You need to find your support for home births because everybody doesn't agree with it. Everybody doesn't agree with, and I was very radical with my home births. I was a home birther, non-medical, no tears. And actually, neither of my births hurt. I had no pain, only pressure in my births. So, and I used a lot of ancestral wisdom. I used a lot of, hypnosis type of information to help me to get to that point where I was. And it's really mental. You want to, make sure you're watching maybe YouTube videos of moms that are actually doing what it is that you're doing to encourage you. Okay. And if you have people in your family that don't agree with that, then don't talk to them. Talk to the people that have the experience, who's done it, right? And then also, for me, again, I'm very radical, so don't try this at home. But for me, I just knew the plan that I put in place was going to happen. I had no room for any hiccups, and that's the strength in our mind, our subconscious mind, and the power that we have installed and instilled in us because of our ancestors and our DNA and who we are and where we come from. And you just really have to believe. It's just like it's very spiritual. It's like a religion. You have to really believe that you, as an embodied Black woman, okay, have the opportunity, have the option to do exactly what it is that you put your mind to, no matter what. So being around people that believe in you and in that space, also sharing information with those that may want to try it as well. Just you need to find a support group. You have to find a support group that believes in what it is that you want to do. Because if you're around people that don't believe it can really throw you off, and negative energy and all of those things can really take over, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to make sure that you have a village. You want to make sure that you're watching videos of home births, of successful home births, and then also for the more left brain thinkers, make sure you have a contingency plan in place, right? So don't just look at it where it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing. You don't have to be like Mama Yata. Get your contingency plan in place. Okay, well, what if this happens? Or, making sure you have all of that laid out. I didn't have all that laid out because I knew both births, even going through a divorce, that what I said was going to happen, I commanded my life, and that's what happened. But everybody is not at that moment in their life, but I encourage everyone to get there.
Right. And whether you have a village or not, we have a village for you at Successful Black Parenting Magazine. We have the Black Parenting Academy. I put the link at the bottom of the screen now so you guys can check it out. Excuse me, it's free. You can talk to parents about home births. You can talk to other parents about breastfeeding. And Mama Yata, I encourage you, I'll send you the link too so you can join on there and you can add your expertise in there. You can add channels, whatever you want. And it's free for parents to come ask questions. We can always get together and do a meetup about it. We do free meetups every last Thursday of the month, every other month. So those are things we can talk about. But I want you, if you don't feel like you have a village or you feel like you have something to contribute to the village, please click the link. I'm also going to put in our link tree today. So for some reason, when I type in the bit.ly thing, it doesn't come up. And I don't know why. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but that is the right link. So I am going to put the actual full link in the link tree. So look for it today on our social media. We're Linktree / successful Black parenting. Now, how can people partner with pregnant moms before they have the baby, like grandparents and aunties, to show up in meaningful ways, not just to cook, but especially if they don't live nearby?
I think the biggest thing, especially with bridging that gap between the elders and the youth, is the conversations. A lot of our tradition, African tradition, is centered around storytelling. So we want to have those conversations with our grandma. How was your birth, grandma? How was your birth, great grandma? How was your birth, mother? Having these conversations will definitely shed light on some of the traumas that we, carry with us to this present day about birth, right? Because if you're saying to someone, oh, I had a home birth, or, I didn't cut the cord, I allowed the cord to stay on, called a lotus birth, which I had 2 of those. People kind of look a little fearful or scared, or like, well, what is that? Why would you do that? But because, when we're thinking about our granny midwives and how most of them never lost a mom, never lost a baby. But now we have white coats involved, and now the statistics for infant mortality and maternal mortality are on the rise all over the world. It's a problem. It's a problem. So we have to start sharing stories. We have to start the conversation around these topics, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I think a lot of times that gap between the elders and the youth is because of the fear of what might be said, whose feelings are going to be hurt. Is this offensive? No, we need to have real, raw conversations, because this is who we have. We are our village. Okay. And so we want to make sure that we are talking to our families and expressing our concerns with our families to make sure that we can go to the future and successfully.
Okay. And we're all about success over here. So successful Black parenting. Your
Yes.
work centers around empowering moms with education and support. Can you walk us through one of your most impactful workshops or programs and the results you've seen from that?
Oh man. So, last year we had a grant with the Center for Thriving Communities out of Jacksonville, Florida. The Center for Thriving Communities was 4 nonprofits built into one, and they gave out money for mental health. And so what I did was I wrote the grant for maternal mental health, and we were one of 3 who were chosen out of 28 recipients. And so we were able to have community engagement, community conversations to speak to one of the poorest zip codes in Florida, which is 32304, as well as Gaston County, which is right outside of Leon County, where I live, which mirrored the 32304 zip code in maternal mental health. And the disparities that run in it. And so what we did was we had the conversations with the community to see what the needs were. And then we created an 8-week postpartum program online. And we had 8 weeks filled with postpartum yoga, pelvic floor therapy, maternal mental health and well-being, financial literacy, breastfeeding on a budget, infant healing, infant feeding, and natural herbs. There were just so many different things that we spoke on. And one that I led was how to ask for help. Okay, because a lot of Black women don't know how to ask for help, because we got it. I have it myself. I have it. I don't need any help. No, it's okay. We lie to ourselves and others like, oh no, I'm fine. Like, oh no, I'm good. So how to ask for help, that's a very powerful workshop that I led for that program, for the 8-week program. And then after the 8-week program, we had a resource fair. And the resource fair brought all the moms that were a part of the program, and then those who weren't a part of the program. And we had about 23 vendors, and we touched about well over 100 moms in that program. And, just from the community listening sessions, to the events that were out in the community regarding funding, and then the incentives that we had for the moms, and the resources. And it was just amazing. We had live coverage there from a very popular radio host, so it was live and remote. And I mean, it was really a blessing to be able to be a part of that.
Right. And I hear your children in the background too. We had some, I guess he's answering ours because ours was doing the same thing a few minutes ago. This is a parenting show. I always say that. It's okay. It's okay.
Yes. They are here.
Man, but we're coming towards the end anyway. But I wanted to talk about, we're always expected to be strong. Like we have an identity of being a strong Black woman. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of being strong sometimes. I just want to be soft and weak sometimes. You know what I mean? So, but, sometimes, I can be strong when I need to be, but sometimes I just want to be soft. I don't want to do it. But how can we, though, change that mindset you talked about asking for help? Like you mentioned, you have a workshop about it. So how do we shift that mindset and normalize receiving help? What do we got to do?
We have to get out of our own way. We are usually in our own way when it comes to receiving help. Now, usually, and this is what I found out just, as a director, just, leading and delegating, whatever the ask is, you have to make sure that it's clear and concise. Okay. You have to make sure that it's direct on what you're asking for. Like, not just, I need help. No. Can you come over and take the clothes out of the dryer, fold them up, and put them away? Okay. That is a direct ask. Not, can you just come over and help me organize my house? No, because now the person that's coming over is like, well, which way did he go? Which way did he go? I don't know what you want me to do. You know what I mean? And some people need that direct ask. Some people now, like me, you just take initiative and I can just see, I can read the room and I can say, okay, she needs to put that up. I need to do this. You need that, that kind of thing. But if you already have the asks already formulated, then it makes it easier for the task to be complete. I mean, think of it as a supervisor or, as an executive director or whoever is in charge. You are in charge as the mom, and the things that you need to ask for them directly. Okay. And that's how we start to formulate things that are going to be susceptible to what we are asking. Because if we're not direct, then everybody's just kind of walking around aimlessly, not doing, and nothing is getting done, and so the stress is still there. The overwhelming is still there. The anxiety is still there. So you cannot be afraid to ask for help, but you cannot be afraid to ask for direct help. Please pick up my older child from middle school basketball practice at 4 p.m. Have him home. You know what I mean? So these are the things that will help change and shift the paradigm.
So you're basically giving them more information, almost like when we storyboard videos out. So everybody's on the same page. So I love that. So if you don't do that, then somebody might misinterpret what you're saying or what you're trying to achieve or what you want the end result to be. So that's what we do in video production. So it's interesting. So that's my background as well. But we know every mom's journey is different. Like, what are 3 simple things any parent can do today to begin reclaiming peace and balance in their parenting journey?
Well, first, remember that these children are here. They're guided through us. They are not our own. Okay. They belong to themselves. They have their own mind. They have their own journey. Okay. Their journey is not our own. And we have to disconnect from the idea that we rule them. Okay. We don't rule them. We're just here as guides, as parent guides. And we are to guide our children in the best way that we know. But if they start to do practices that we may not agree with, or we may not know of, or those types of things, we don't want to show this negative space with them, because we always want them to be open with us. And once we start, fidgeting toward the negative space and saying, oh, well, you shouldn't do that, or, We have to come with understanding, understanding, overstanding. We have to come with an open mind with children, especially in 2025. There's a lot of things going on out there. So if you want to, have that peace with your children, have more conversation, not just how was your day? Okay. Who made you sad today? What was the happiest moment in your day today? What made you laugh today? Asking questions that are more intimate, and less robotic, right? And so we want to build that intimate connection with our children, because if we don't, then the world will, and we don't have any control over what the world is going to share with our children.
Absolutely. I have a saying: build them up before the world breaks them down. Don't let that happen. You build them up strong enough, they can't break them down.
That's right.
So this conversation has been extremely powerful. I could talk to you all day, but I want to know the story, because I know there's a story there behind your name, Mama Yata. Please tell us about that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yes. So Mama Yata is a focus on mama being, we are all mamas, right? In some impactful way. We're nurturing, right? And then Yata is, you are the Ashe. You are the abundance. You are the authority. Okay. You are the things that you need to strive, to thrive, and to be successful.
That's fantastic. I love that. Mama Yata. So Mama Yata, how can our audience follow your journey and support the work you're doing with Melanin Mothers Meet?
Yes. Well, I'm always accepting donations. You can find our website, www.melaninmothersmeet.com. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our social media is Melanin Mothers Meet _M3. You can also see us on Facebook at Melanin Mothers Meet M3, and you can follow me on Facebook as well. I'm there as Mama Yata. And I'm just really starting my TikTok. So I have a TikTok, and it's called Mama Yata Don't Play. So
well, I'm going to follow you on all of those when we get off the air. Make sure we follow you. And I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to see you again.
Same here. And a big shout out to all of you who are watching this and who watched it live. The replay of this episode is always on our YouTube. It will always be on Spotify and all the platforms for podcasts, from iTunes to Apple to Google, iHeart. You can find us everywhere, and you can replay it and share it with someone. So be sure you follow us on social media. Click on everything, follows, likes, ads. And until next time, I wish you all the best and much success. Take care, and thank you for listening, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to BACKtalk by Successful Black Parenting Magazine. We'll see you soon.